This podcast is supported by The RealReal. Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast to our 40 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And only for the month of January, earn up to $550 extra when you sell with The RealReal. That's right, up to $550 extra. Go to TheRealReal.com to get started. Earn up to $550 extra this month at TheRealReal.com. Terms apply.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We are live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Busy 3-hour program lined up today. Ryan Kramer Sports Gambling Podcast, which you get every Friday night here on the network. In studio in 30 minutes. Early looks from him for the Super Bowl. Mike Somich, same coming up in an hour. ESPN Cleveland, Tony Rizzo in studio in 90 minutes. Did anybody want the Cleveland Browns job? And have the Cavaliers figured this thing out in the Eastern Conference? And we'll talk college basketball with Greg Peterson coming up a little bit later on. How are you feeling going into the first weekend without football in, my God, 5 months?
Yep, no good.
No good is the only answer.
Did you give out heads to to everyone yesterday? Is that your top play? Heads 31-28 so far?
I think I put 4
toss?
units on that on vsin.com.
Yeah. A great story.
Spreading around every single account on that.
I was at the Orleans one year, like 20 years ago, guys walking around. I love tails. I love it. And they asked him about the actual game. He goes, no, I just love tails for the coin toss. I think it was an 8-1 run in the midst of that when he gave it out.
Well, that's like how the national anthem betting has changed.
Yeah.
Right? Because many years ago, probably, when did it actually turn into like 0.1% of the people who want to bet it actually can get down decent bets? Because was it 5, 6, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
It was when numerous people, including the one person I think in Florida who was a news reporter from one of the Florida stations, I think like in Orlando or Tampa, and he was outside the stadium and he timed it with video and he put it out and it completely cooked any chance of anybody ever getting down at national anthem props ever again. But there was a time where, and I've told the story before, whatever year it was, 2018, it was the biggest bet that I had the entire year that year in the NFL was on the national anthem, and I was able to get down on alts, and we were given the answers to the test.
Yeah.
We knew to the second how long the national anthem was going to be, and our source was right on that. And won a lot of money. Now it's not even worth looking at, in my opinion. Same thing with color of the Gatorade.
Yeah.
What can you really get down on some of these novelty props? $50, $100? Again, for the majority of people who want to actually try to make some money on it?
Well, going back to your first question, though, as we feel terrible here, it's because we love football so much, but at least the NBA's coming heavy Sunday. You have a Lakers, Knicks, OKC, Denver back-to-back in prime time, and the Joker is back, too. So that's at least a good job by the NBA on Sunday.
Do you think, with all of the injuries to Oklahoma City and the way that they've been trending now for a little while, with Joker back tonight, assuming that he is 100%, do you think the Nuggets can catch them in the division?
Yeah, they held it down. They're only 5 back in the loss column. Not only did Minnesota win last night, they boat raced them.
Killed them.
So they have done a nice job the last 2 times out against them. They're leaking oil. You survived this somehow without Joker. The other important takeaway is he's going to be eligible for awards. Keep an eye on that. And we've had a big move now. There's a 5-point move in the side and a 9-point move in the total, with Joker being announced back in. And read Makinen every day, but Makinen's got a 24-4 trend in this game at vsin.com.
Yeah. There's also, I would say this.
To answer your question, absolutely yes.
Yeah, they're down to 30-1.
Yeah.
To win that division. I would say that as for betting Joker to win the MVP, I heard JV Team Stormy talking about this. Basically, he can't miss any more games. because the game that he got hurt, as JBT was explaining on the air during Money Moves, is that he played fewer than 20 minutes in the game that he got hurt. Technically, that would not start as a start overall for him, but do they count it as a game played? If they do count that one, he could actually miss one more game. And then I saw the first book here in town. It's called Boyd, which is our version of FanDuel. They don't offer everything that FanDuel has, but they offer, probably half. They put Joker up at plus 550. I would need a much bigger number than that because you're basically gambling. You have two things here. He has to pretty much not miss a game for the rest of the year, not one. And then he also has to play like he was for the first, 2.5 months of the season before he got injured. And then he has to surpass guys that are in front of him, basically, with the stats and everything that he put up in his absence. Plus 550, I can't get there, Paulie.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I thought it was worth a consideration had he been like 25-1.
Yeah.
But
then more movement on other guys going down in the other direction as Luka keeps plummeting. Lakers with another loss, and Cade came down after Dylan Brooks with an out-of-body experience.
Guy, he is having a
coming?
great year, that dude, man.
What a performance. So another day to kick this stuff around. Did you find anything else, other more props or anything else interesting that may have caught your attention or eye? This one is New England. There's a lot of stuff pointed to New England, but this one's rough. Teams with a better winning percentage, 1-17 ATS. And that would point to Seattle, as the Patriots have a better winning percentage. Mm-hmm. And this was on X as well. This is offered. The only place I've seen it is the South Point. This is unbelievable. Will there be a roughing the passer penalty? No's $1.50. There's been 2 since 2010.
That's it?
I can't believe it. According to some people. Fell off my chair with that
one.
Oh,
I would have certainly guessed.
That be?
Give me the number that you would have guessed. 5?
At least more than that.
Probably, yeah. Probably like half of the games?
Yeah.
You'd get one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine you actually bet that and they miss another shot to the head, which they've done all playoffs long.
No kidding.
With the officiating. But
well, do you want to get
that's good.
You want to bet the minus 150 on the no then?
Yeah, that's good.
There's also this Mackinnon, the trends story is up right now at vsin.com over the last 20. A lot of this is pointing towards New England. Some of it points towards Seattle, but I'll give you the New England stuff as well first. You pointed that one out about the winning percentage, and that would go towards Seattle's way. But over the last 24 years, dogs are 18-6 ATS. That's 75%, including 14-4 the last 18. Dogs have been barking big time now. Last 20 years. Dogs of at least 4.5 points are 12, 2-2 ATS in Super Bowl 30. How about Vrabel? 29, 16-2 ATS is a dog of at least 3 points. That was always a thing with him in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it much this year with New England because how often were they a dog?
Mm-hmm.
The outright winner is 49-7-3 ATS. It's 87.5%. Highest mark of any playoff round. Again, that's just pick the team they think is going to win. And if you think Seattle's going to win the game, the favorites, would cover a lot in that situation. In the last 5 matchups between 1 and 2 seeds, 2 seeds, that would be New England, 5-1 straight up, 4-2 ATS. Also, there's this. Mackinnon shares like a handful of his power ratings. One is called Effective Strength, Bettors ratings, and his own power ratings as well. As he wrote, they all flagged New England as an underpriced underdog in this game. And also, when you look at the DK betting splits, you want to fade heavy public sides. And at DK, as of now, the public all on Seattle. Also, there's this. Don't forget about this again. New England has not lost by more than a touchdown all year. So going back the last 24 Super Bowls, if you teased the dog on a 6-point teaser, they have covered 21 out of 24 games. That's 87.5% again. So you could tease, in theory, New England, and you could keep it open. You could maybe, I don't know if you want to tease it with basketball games. That sounds a little dangerous, but you could maybe tease it to the side. And I would think that you'd want to tease it under. So maybe New England plus 10.5 and under 51.5.
Well, the comeback is how concerned are we with May's injury and the flu?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did notice that people in New England were retweeting that scramble that he had in the cold conditions last week in the snow when he was sacked and he brought down right on his right shoulder like that, directly on his right shoulder. And they were indicating that after that, he was obviously in some pain. And that's the hit
Yep.
that took place. Vrabel poo-pooed it, said everybody's going to be fine. Nothing to report on the injury report. Well, we'll see. I would assume that May's going to take a bunch of hits in this game because he has all year long, and Seattle's defense is elite.
Well, most people think Seattle wins, and I know you got the ESPN kiss of death, too.
I'll hold. Let me hold on to that for a couple more minutes.
I mentioned that Monday, though, too. When first thing I saw when I went up ESPN.com, who's going to win the game? Oh, my God. It's just oh, yeah. It's a formality. Rock and roll. Seattle, no problem.
Well, I'll give you some angles here that point towards Seattle. Teams that allowed fewer points per game during the regular season are 9-1 straight up and 8-2 ATS last 10 Super Bowls. That includes Philadelphia a year ago. The team that is the better playoff seed, only 2-17-2 ATS last 28 Super Bowl games. But in 2011, a bunch of those games through 2023, equal seeds matched up. That I think would, I think I have that wrong. That would obviously go towards New England. Teams, this is, I don't think this is talked about enough. We need to talk about this more next year in the NFL.
Well, no, Seattle's a better seed.
Teams that,
Yep.
yeah, no, they are.
Yep.
But they're only 2-17-2 ATS last 28, right? Okay, teams that stopped third downs more efficiently in the regular season, 10-6 ATS last 16 Super Bowl games. That's Seattle here. Third down conversions, man, that actually bothers me, and it has for a long time. Even when I don't have bets on games, it might be a team that I'm rooting for outright, or certainly if I have a bet on the game, when they can't get off the field on third down, and that was a killer to Green Bay several times in their playoff runs, specifically against the Giants. They could not get off the field on third down. Third 8, no problem. Third and 11, penalty, first down. It's like, guys, please force a punt. And it can be so aggravating when that happens over and over and over again.
Seattle was great against the Rams, and I love Paul Bovey, but I disagree with him yesterday. I just think they have a Rams problem. And the defense is nasty, and it's just hard to stop the number one offense. And I think this Seattle defense is for real. It's going to give May fits. They're going to put in a good performance in the Super Bowl with an excellent coach who has said the Tampa Bay game changed everything.
Have you pondered
No.
Seahawks outs?
Outs, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I'll run that down then. The ultimate kiss of death with Super Bowl predictions. Several outlets on the same side. And you know what that means. This is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This podcast is supported by The RealReal. Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast to our 40 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And only for the month of January, earn up to $550 extra when you sell with The RealReal. That's right, up to $550 extra. Go to TheRealReal.com to get started. Earn up to $550 extra this month at TheRealReal.com. Terms apply.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening, Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our affiliates across the country. Busy hour coming up. Nigel Seeley in about 15. Best bets in the Prim this week, plus a preview of the Women's Open finale at the Aussie Open. Tony Rizzo in studio, bottom of the hour from ESPN Cleveland, the Cavaliers and the Browns situation going into next year. Right now we go out to the Progressive Guest Line. VSiN host Mike Samich joins the program, and he's also the co-host of a podcast that drops twice a week called Sharp Money with Patrick Maher. Hey, Mike, good afternoon, pal. How are you today?
Doing good. Nice to have the week off from football here. I guess we do have the Pro Bowl, but I don't think I'm going to bet the flag football game this week. And then we head out to the Super Bowl. Looking forward to this matchup. Got a pretty big opinion on it, so looking forward to this one kicking off.
You really do.
Yeah.
So you're expecting a Seahawks bloodbath, huh?
I am. It's interesting to just look. The Patriots, you got to give them all the credit for getting here, and you can only play who's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to take anything away from them. At the same time, this is going to be the first time this New England team has faced a well-rounded football team in the playoffs. You faced the Chargers with a good defense, the Texans with a good defense. You faced the Broncos with a good defense. All of those offenses were limited for one reason or another, be it the offensive line, the quarterback, or what was the weather that was going on. Now you're taking on a Seattle team who has, I'm going to say, the second best defense of that bunch that we already talked about. I think Houston's was better, but I would put the Seattle team in second. But you have an offense that is not hampered in any way, shape, or form. They've got a good running back. They've got a good offensive line. You've got Darnold, who has played well throughout the playoffs, including phenomenal in that Rams game. You've got a clear number one wide receiver. You've got a deep threat in Shaheed. You've got great special teams. I just don't see where the advantage is for the Patriots. The one positive you could say is they should be able to slow down the run game for Seattle. It's a Patriots team that has been very good stopping the run when healthy. Well, they are healthy for this one on the defensive line. So I do think it's a tough day for Kenneth Walker. We've seen his prop drop from 79.5 down to 75.5. I agree with that move, but we haven't seen Darnold's prop adjust accordingly in my mind, because if we are stopping Walker, that means Darnold is going to do more in this game with his arm. I like the Sam Darnold over 229.5 number, and I love the Seahawks in this spot. I was live on Sharp Money with Patrick Maher on Sunday, recording right after those games went final. The 3.5 number popped up. I bet Seattle immediately at the minus 3.5 number, and I'm now shopping for alts. I want to find a way to try and capitalize on the opinion that Seattle is just a significantly better team than this Patriots side. I like Seattle minus 7.5. I played them minus 14.5 plus 350. I think there's a long tail toward a Seattle blowout here, because if you do see the Seahawks get a lead, all of a sudden you've got Drake May having to face a Mike Macdonald defense, which is going to be specifically schemed for him in that offense over the 2 weeks. It's one of the things Macdonald has done exceptionally well throughout the season, is change up his defensive game plan week in and week out. Now he's got 2 weeks to prepare. I think that makes it harder for Drake May to be able to use his legs effectively. I think this front four is consistently going to get pressure against an offensive line that we have seen really struggle for the Patriots over this entire playoff run. And when you add all that together with the Seattle lead, I think you have turnovers that are possible, short fields that are possible for Seattle. I think it's going to make the New England life very, very difficult on the offensive side. I think that gives Seattle the opportunity to win this game by significant margin. That's why I want to play them up as high as minus 14.5 here and try and capture some big plus money on the Seahawks.
All right. Darnold overpassing as well. Are you going to be on Darnold MVP?
I haven't decided yet. It feels like that's the logical place to go here, right? I mean, if you do think Kenneth Walker is going to get slowed down by this run defense, which I do think happens, and then you look on the other side and you say, okay, Darnold's going to have to throw the football. You have JSN, who is likely to get 33 to 50% of the yards that Darnold throws for. The problem is if Darnold throws for 2 or 3 touchdowns, JSN probably needs 2 touchdowns to be able to win the award, and it really forces it to be one of those 2 guys to be able to jump up and win the MVP. I think Darnold is by far the most likely. I've not bet the MVP market yet. If I bet anybody right now, it would be Darnold. But with his current price, I'm not running to the window to try and get a bet in.
All right, very good. The big news, Giannis being shopped. NBA trade deadline 6 days away. We were surprised that they were favored against Washington and lost by double digits yesterday. How about a future that you like involving the Bucks? Take it away.
Yeah, this is one of those situations. Anytime you have these big names who are going to be on the move, in my mind, the place that most people go to is say, okay, well, who is he going to be traded to, and how can I get ahead of those odds moves, right? Do I go and do I play Golden State Warriors to win the West or win the NBA? Do I go and play the Knicks to win the East or win the title? I understand why you're trying to go for that, and you're taking a shot, assuming that he is going to get traded and that he goes to the right team. And if you are right, you get a significantly better number than the market. I would rather look at this a different way. and just focus on the Bucks specifically here. Right now, we've got Giannis out for another 3 to 5 weeks with a calf injury. Right now, they are sitting at 18 and 30 or 18 and 28 on the season. So they have 36 games left. If this is a situation where you see Giannis not get traded, but miss those 3 to 5 weeks with a calf injury, I'd be surprised if he comes back and plays this year for the Bucks. And the reasoning behind that is pretty simple. If they don't move on from him at the trade deadline, they're going to move on from him in the summer. And if they do that, the last thing they want is an Achilles injury. And we've seen calf injuries translate into Achilles injuries in the NBA the last year multiple times. So the last thing you want is him out for a long-term injury. It completely devalues your asset. The other piece of this is the Bucks have the worst pick of themselves and the Pelicans. They are going to be in the tanking business once we get through this trade deadline. And with that 18 and 26 record, they need to win 13 more games out of their final 36. That represents a 36.1 win percentage. They are currently 3 and 13 without Giannis in the lineup when they are trying to win basketball games. When they are now going to try and lose basketball games and Giannis isn't in the lineup, I don't see how in the world they end up winning 36% of the remaining games on their schedule. Right now, you can get under 30.5 wins. That's sitting at minus 102 at FanDuel. You can shop around. There are other under 30.5 wins available as well. I just don't understand how this team is going to be able to win 36% of their remaining games, even if Giannis stays. I do think there's a likelihood he gets traded, but if he stays, I think we're still in a good position here because this is a Bucks team that has to turn to tanking and figure out how to kind of revamp this organization once they get through this season.
I would also say this too, like if he does stay and they don't have the right deal done by next Thursday, everything you said is accurate. Plus the added bonus is the 2026 NBA draft is absolutely loaded and they need to lose as many games as possible to guarantee themselves, the best chance possible to be like in the top 5. They don't want to take any chances of running him back whatsoever. And you were talking about a possible injury, like an additional injury to the calf or beyond that. They have everything in their fiber is telling them this dude cannot play another game in our jersey, in our uniform.
Exactly. I mean, this is a franchise that is now motivated to move on from Giannis and to lose basketball games. And like I said, it's the worst pick of New Orleans and themselves. New Orleans may be the number 1 pick, which means you end up getting your own pick in that case. If that's the situation, you've got to find a way to lose some basketball games because right now you've got 5 teams with 12 losses or 12 wins. You're sitting there with 18 wins. You're 6 games behind being in that number 1 pick. And the most important spot in that lottery is to be 1 through 4. Because then you're guaranteed you're not going to get jumped by too many teams in this situation. To me, this is a spot where if you're the Bucks, you've got to lose as many basketball games as possible. And I think you're starting to come to that realization. And the fact that, again, you have Giannis who's going to be out another 3 to 5 weeks. If this Bucks team is significantly out of the play-in when he is supposed to come back, it makes no sense at all from an organizational perspective to put him back on the floor. And again, they have a .391 win percentage throughout the entire season. They need to go .361 for the rest of the season to get to 31 wins. I just don't see how in the world the Bucks organization is going to be able to do that, especially if you're going to not have Giannis out there for the remainder of the season. Great
numbers, great analysis there. Mike Somich, our guest. You're also co-host of VSiN at the Track podcast. You can get, again, wherever you get your podcast, horse racing expert here at VSiN. This is an important weekend for Kentucky Derby futures. Is that correct?
It's an interesting weekend for Kentucky Derby futures here, and that's for a couple reasons. First off, yesterday, the big news around the horse racing world, Ted Nafi, who was your favorite, the only horse that was under 10-1 in the Kentucky Derby Trail, the winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year, he is out with an injury. He is not going to run at the Kentucky Derby, 60 to 90 days on the sideline. He's going to try to point toward the fall at Saratoga. Well, that means we've had a massive shift in the odds market inside the Kentucky Derby. You saw, we have a horse that's 9-1 right now, and Cannellonian, who has run 1 race. This is a wide open Kentucky Derby year. The best crop is down in Florida, and we have the Holy Bull this weekend. It's the 13th race on the card from Gulfstream Park on Saturday. I'm sorry, 12th race on the card from Gulfstream Park on Saturday. Why this is important? You have future books that are offering this right now. Caesars has their Kentucky Derby market up, lists hundreds of horses. Well, 3 of the contenders in that race are all in the top 10 or 15 inside this betting market. And while we see a lot of numbers move quickly, horse racing's not one of them. Even when we found out Ted Nafi was going to be scratched, he was still listed as the favorite inside the odds market for about an hour and a half. If you watch the 12th at Gulfstream and you're impressed by a horse, that number is going to drop precipitously in the coming 2 hours. I think it's a good opportunity where if you're paying attention to that future market, you can go in, you can get a better price. The three main contenders in that race are Incredibolt, Cannoneer, and Nearly. Right now, Nearly, who is going to be your morning line favorites, 28-1 on the board. If he goes out and wins that race, 28-1 is going to turn into about 10-1 in a 2 hour period. So it's an opportunity to watch that race, pay attention to what happens, and possibly get a much better number on whoever wins that race so that you can kind of get ahead of that Kentucky Derby market.
That is dynamite information there. Okay, and that's coming up in the next couple of hours, you said.
That's coming up on Saturday. So we got one more day. Yep. That's post time at 5:45 Eastern, 2:45 Pacific, the 12th race at Gulfstream. So as soon as you check that out, you can jump right on and say, okay, I want to take Cannoneer. I want to take Incredibolt. I want to take Nearly. Any one of those three horses win, they're going to become either the favorite or the second choice in the futures market. All of them right now at double-digit odds.
Great stuff, Mike. Follow him on X, @SalmoBomb18 as well. Thanks, Mike. Enjoy the weekend.
You got it, guys. Good luck.
There you go. He was on the Progressive Guest Line. Up next, you're going to hear from Nigel Seeley. He has bets galore in the Premier League this week and the Women's Open at the Aussie. What he thinks of it coming up next year on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board here on a Friday, live in Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is your spot. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard. This is going to be a very fun 30-minute stretch here as the legend himself, Tony Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland, joins us now in studio, and so much to get into with him. It's good to see you, my man. How are you today?
Guys, let me say this and prop this property for Derek and everybody that works here. There's a lot of new places in Las Vegas that don't feel like Las Vegas, okay? I first came out here in 1982 for spring break. That's a true story. There was nothing here but the sands and the dunes and the frontier, and I played it all. I played $5 blackjack at all those places. This place really does a nice job of giving you the Vegas feel with a first-class experience. I love this place.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well said. So you just basically decided enough of the -10. I have to go somewhere warm?
Yeah, so on Monday, my wife's birthday was last weekend, and we really didn't do anything because there was a snowstorm and it was 5 degrees. I said, honey, let's go. Let's go. And she's like, let's go. I left her at the pool, by the way, so she's sunning right now, and I'm glad to be out here, guys. I don't want to rub it in to my crew back at home, but it is beautiful out here.
Okay, so is it official yet with Monken, or do they still have time to change their mind on this?
Guys, can I say this, Mitch? You're not going to believe this. You're not, because the process of the Browns hiring a coach was, guys, when Andrew Berry stayed and Kevin Stefanski got fired, that said to me that Jimmy Haslam was going to make this hire. Andrew Berry didn't. Andrew Berry's guy was Shieldhouse. Okay? And for a 7-hour interview and a plane flight to L.A., he tried to convince Jimmy Haslam. Jimmy Haslam's like, 35-year-old kid, passing game coordinator, doesn't know anybody. Give Todd Monken a chance. That's all I'm going to say. I was as shocked as anybody. I did text you, but I was as shocked as anybody. Give Todd a chance. From everybody I talked to in Baltimore, his offense has worked everywhere. And the Browns set out to fix their offense this year. Now, the whole Schwartz thing and how that all went down, you know, I like Jimmy a lot, but if he's not going to stick around, the Browns' job was to fix the offense. There's already stories about, you know, Shedeur, whether he likes Shedeur or not. And the quarterback thing is still up in the air. Don't count out Watson. Is there a market for that?
We'll find one.
Is there a market?
To start week one?
To start week one.
Is it going to happen?
Oh, I would put pizza money on it. I'll tell you right now. Shedeur came in. They said, you know, we wanted to draft you. Great video, guys. You got a great crew here, by the way. But this whole thing came down to Jimmy Haslam's decision, and he went with a guy who he trusts. I know he's old. I'm old. I'm actually older than Todd Monken, but give him a chance, Mitch. Give him a chance.
Well, you wanted to get rid of Stefanski, and you wanted to clean house.
The offense, first of all, coach is great. You know, I'm going to have me on in Atlanta. They asked me to come on Monday. I have nothing bad to say about Kevin Stefanski. He's a class act and everything. His offense was terrible. He lost his way, and the locker room didn't trust him anymore. Denzel Ward said something, guys, after the season. He said, we just need somebody to keep people accountable on offense. And I don't think Kevin was doing that. Browns had the worst special teams in the world. He wouldn't fire Bubba Ventrone. So he's very loyal to his coaches to a fault.
Okay.
And I think that Monken is a guy that'll hold people accountable. I do. And he got glowing reviews from Harbaugh and others who he's worked for, Kirby Smart. Give him a chance. Guys, I think hiring a coach could be harder than finding a quarterback in the National Football League.
Yeah. So you run it back with Watson and Sanders?
I'm telling you, Watson's in play. He's got a clear head. Okay, he had so much going on when he left.
You see anything?
In Houston.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he can return to form. He led the league in passing one year. I doubt that's going to happen again.
No.
But let's see. There's going to be competition, and I think it'll be between Sanders and Watson. And if Watson is healthy, coming off 2 surgeries, if he's healthy, I'd give him a chance.
Okay, so I'm looking right now. Kelce has it up. Cleveland Browns week 1 starter next year.
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders is 53%. Deshaun Watson is 28%. Basically, $100 on Watson would get you back more than $250.
Okay. Don't forget, though, the Browns want to see Shedeur. Okay? And the veteran backup is already under contract. So they have nothing to lose with Watson. But if they're really going to have a competition, and I believe Coach Monken is going to be fair about this and not just pick the young guy because they want to see him, I think Watson has a real shot to beat out Shedeur. And I love Shedeur. I loved him coming out of college. It was me and Mel Kiper against the world. I loved him. I still love him. They ruined him. They couldn't. Oh, what a year for that kid. Like, you went to an organization who didn't believe in you. That's another reason why Stefanski's gone.
Were the fans mad when they won the last couple games and blew the draft pick?
No. Paulie, we can't get draft. I should say that. Browns had a good draft last year.
Yeah.
We can't worry about 1, 2. I think Mendoza's the only sure lock in this whole draft. And the kid from Oregon's going back to school. So
okay. So you mentioned it earlier. Where are we at with Schwartz?
Any
chance he comes back?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think
no.
Jim is. I think Jim's going to draw a line in the sand. I think he saw his last chance to be a head coach, and it got taken away from him. So we'll see. There's a lot of good jobs out there, guys. San Francisco, Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah.
What'd you think of McCarthy to the Steelers?
Good luck, Big Mike. I like Mike. I like Mike McCarthy. He's a great guy. I heard a story. I guess when he went to interview for the Titans, somebody in Tennessee goes, he just told stories for like 3 hours to everybody. He's a great guy. He's a Pittsburgh native. Now, we're arch rivals, Browns fan with the Steelers, but we'll see how that goes. What do you guys? I already heard. I listen to you guys every day. I know what you think about Mike McCarthy.
I can't believe it.
Give Monken a chance, Mitch.
No.
Give him a chance.
Do I have to?
No, you don't.
I don't?
No, you don't.
What is the team missing overall?
You got to find your quarterback.
Yeah. So quarterback for sure. Other than quarterback, what else do they need?
On offense, they need a wide receiver really bad, and they need about 4 offensive linemen.
I was going to say the offensive line.
4.
Yeah. So I would guess if you're going to bet first pick at number 6, a tackle wide receiver would be the only 2 choices. If Tate is there from Ohio State, I think he's the choice. But I don't know. Fano, is he a right tackle? Is he a guard? The Browns need a left tackle. They can't count on DeJuan Jones, who's been injured the last 3 seasons.
All right, Mitch was asking earlier. So I think you have a strong opinion here. You like the dog. Why do you like the Patriots?
Oh, I like the Patriots. Well, first of all, Mike Vrabel went to Walsh Jesuit High School, and I covered him in high school.
All right.
Okay, how about that story?
That's incredible.
Because I was a sports anchor in town.
Yeah?
I think they have a shot. I think, number 1, Drake May has not played well because of the weather. I think if you get a fast track in Palo Alto, he'll force the ball down the field. That'll be a different looking offense than you've seen. But I think more than anything, I think their defense is underrated. I do. He challenged them when they played the Texans. He said, you guys have heard all about the Texans defense and how great they are, They came out and played like their hair was on fire, and they did it again the next week. I expect them to play that way. I guess there's I heard Sal Pell talk about the linebackers coach. They have good coaches on that side of the ball. Yeah.
So you're thinking, forget the points, taking money line? What are you going to do here?
I might. I think it'll be a close game. Seattle's very good. Here's the question. Sam Darnold has not gone Sam Darnold. I shouldn't say that. The kid's played phenomenal last year. By the way, GM got fired in Minnesota, right?
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, well, because you went with, okay.
Good call.
If Sam Darnold's got to play a good game. Okay, so we'll see if that happens.
Okay, what do you have on Belichick?
All right. Let me say this. First of all, I love Bill. I was at his first press conference, Mitch, in 1990 when Art Modell introduced him to Cleveland. Okay? I go that far back.
Why do you get rid of him?
Who?
Why did Modell get rid of Belichick? He went to the playoffs.
How about this? He fired him on the phone.
Yeah?
Art Modell fired Bill Belichick and Paul Brown. That's why he's not in the Hall of Fame. He went with Ted Marchibroda because he thought he would be a draw to the Baltimore people. Silly story. Long story short, everybody found. How do we find out about the Belichick news? How do we know that he didn't get? The Hall doesn't release any. They have to call the person that doesn't make the ballot. So Belichick news. So somebody on that end let everybody know. It was ridiculous. I work with Tony Grossi, who's covered the Browns for 40 years. He did vote for Bill Belichick. He has one of the 50 votes. But he said, and he said it on my air, so I could say to you guys, there was a 45-minute discussion about Bill Belichick getting in the Hall of Fame.
You're kidding.
I wish I was.
And it was people saying this is the reason why he should not be in.
Deflategate, Spygate. You know, they went through the fact that he might come back. This is, guys, this is how this process works.
Did anybody put their foot down and say, guys, stop?
That
enough.
I don't know. That I don't know. All there was they present both sides of everything. You know, Tony was the guy who presented against Art Modell for the city of Cleveland, said, this guy moved the favorite team in the city. You can't put him in the Hall of Fame. He's been there and done this a long time. That's the process. What needs to change is the process. It needs to change. So there were people that were voting for one guy because they thought Belichick would eventually get in. But the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame is silly. I agree with Sal. I wouldn't put it all on the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't. There are a lot of good people there close to us in Canton. But the voting process, I think, might change in the future.
I could see that happening for sure. Hell, they already said if anybody went rogue, they're probably going to get their vote stripped. They came out and made that release a couple of days ago already.
We'll see. And the ballots are, you don't have to say who you are.
It can't be anonymous.
Yeah.
They can lead to that nonsense.
All right, more with ESPN Cleveland legend Tony Rizzo coming up next. Is there a disconnect with Atkinson or the Cavaliers finally breaking out of it?
I got a little news for you guys there.
Good. Can't wait to hear it next here on VSiN.
This podcast is supported by The RealReal. Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast to our 40 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And only for the month of January, earn up to $550 extra when you sell with The RealReal. That's right, up to $550 extra. Go to TheRealReal.com to get started. Earn up to $550 extra this month at TheRealReal.com. Terms apply.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We continue now. Tony Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland. I'm supposed to ask you, what's up with Babushka Lady?
We have a lady that walks by. We're on the boardwalk. We have beautiful studios like you guys. Beautiful studios. There's a lady that walks by every morning. I assume she's going to work. She's got a bag, a long coat, and boots. She wears a babushka. So now that people are taking bets over under 805 every month. We like to bet in Cleveland.
No,
we like to bet.
No,
yeah, in Cleveland.
Well, remember when we met you at the Super Bowl? You guys were you have high school football.
Paulie, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was Goldhammer. Like, why are the ratings so high on Friday nights? Because you give it everyone's betting the high
scores.
School.
We do a football. We do like a red zone on Friday night for high school. It's one of the most popular things we do. Yeah.
What would you tell about Youngstown and Steubenville?
Well, there's a lot of big gamblers there. A lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people out here know people from Steubenville and Youngstown.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. By the way, when was without saying too much here, when was the first time that you found out that like betting on high school games might have actually been a thing? How long ago?
I think I was in high school. I think I was playing, man. I played D1, Cleveland, Region 1 D1. So, yeah.
Okay.
Had a ball. I know I'm sitting next to one of the greatest goalies of all time right here, right from Minnesota.
Yeah, right, for about a year. Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's great. You got a Wayne Newton story?
All right, quickly. Wayne's wife, her sister worked at Channel 8, Fox 8 in Cleveland. I was the sports anchor there. We did a lot of work together, won a lot of awards. Great girl. She passed away. God rest her soul. So, she's like, my sister's married to Wayne Newton. We're like, okay, so we go to Vegas. Well, he's at the Stardust. Yeah. Now I'm like 38 years old. They go, do you want to go to Wayne Newton? What am I going to say? No. Disrespect Wayne Newton? I don't want to go to see Wayne Newton. They put us, I could put my foot
on the stage.
So there's me and 7 of my buddies and all these ladies for Wayne Newton. And he was so great, and he was such a class act. About halfway through the show, he stops, he stops the orchestra, he looks down at us, he goes, "Did you guys lose a bet?" In other words, what the hell are you doing at my show in the front row? We went back and met him. He could not have been nicer. He had that ranch with the horses and all that. Yeah. He class act, Wayne Newton. Love that.
You'll be
guy.
driving down the street here in Las Vegas and say, "What is that? How come that play?" And that's where Wayne Newton lived.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it time to bet the Cavaliers to win the East?
No, I heard Dustin Sweetelson making the argument overnight. It's 6-1. I would put some money on that. The Cavs, I think, I know they're in talks with the Lakers. It's been reported in Cleveland about DeAndre Hunter, about a deal for DeAndre Hunter. Sending Hunter to the Lakers, I guess the Cavs will get like Hachimura or something. Hachimura's contract's up. The Cavs need to get out of the second apron. Guys, the thing is, what's puzzling to us is right now the Cavs, without Mobley and without Garland, are playing better than they've played really all season long. Donovan Mitchell is a god. I can't believe he's not starting the All-Star game. That's a joke. He's one of the best players we've ever seen. Second best player to LeBron ever in Cavaliers history.
Has to be.
Oh, yeah. But the Cavs have not played their best this year, Mitch. So I guess, if you wanted to take a flyer on that, that's the way I'd put it.
Because, look at the top, the teams ahead of them. And I think the Eastern Conference will be a lot of fun because these teams are pretty close.
Yeah.
But they can't beat the Knicks, Celtics, Pistons?
Yeah, they can.
Of course they can.
Yeah, they can. Let's see what happens with Giannis now. Guys, don't forget. Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Browns, is one of the governors for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
And he was the governor in charge last year. They're going to get something for him. I don't know how well they're going to do, but he's going to go somewhere. Okay. And he's a chip. Whether he plays this year or not is the question.
Wait, hold on. Do you think he goes somewhere by next Thursday?
Let's just see. They've had a lot of offers, is what I heard. Milwaukee's gotten a lot of offers. Yep.
Yeah. Well, this is the other fascinating part of this is you have to do right by the player angle.
Yeah.
Like this new NBA, because what he did for the organization.
Well, he's got a new home, Paulie.
Yeah, so
he's trying to find a new home. Who says that? Who says that?
That's going to be copied in the future from every other player.
I need to find a new home.
I know. He doesn't want to say it.
I don't want you guys to find a new home because I love where you're at. I listen every day.
Well, okay, so you had this earlier, though. So what was the problem early in the season? They've already had more losses than did all of last year. Atkinson was so good. You said there was a disconnect. There was something going on.
Yeah.
Have they straightened that out? What was the problem? Because, it's also hard for you to come on there and sell it to the fan base.
Yeah.
Well, the luck factor and the shots aren't falling and some of the analytics. But
they're still finding their way. Their big thing was the last 2 years they got knocked out in the second round. They're a better team than that.
Yeah.
So they went to this regular season, we don't care if we're the number one seed. Remember last year they couldn't lose? They were the number one seed. They wound up right where they were the year before, out of the playoffs in the second round. So I think that kind of crept into their head a little bit that they don't care about the regular season. They certainly look like they're playing with it. I think Atkinson is, what did Paul Newman say in Slapshot when the Hansons go, hey, we're ready to play, coach? He goes, yeah, I'm working through some things right now. I think Kenny's working through some lineups and some role playing, and I think they'll get it down. I'm bullish on the Cavs at the end of the year if they're healthy. We'll see.
Top 5 sports movie. Hell of a reference. They're putting the foil on. Great job with Slapshot.
They brought their friggin' toys.
Their toys. I know.
But by the way, there is a market up again. LeBron James' next team.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about Cleveland.
Yeah. What does it say?
The no is favored at about 80% the way it looks.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in Cleveland next year?
I don't know. First of all, we need to figure out if LeBron's going to play again next year.
Oh, he's got it.
I know.
He's got it.
Okay. the second of all, where is the fit? Do the Cavs want to do that? Guys, let me tell you this.
Well, you know him. Will he take a pay cut? They're going to ask him to take a pay cut.
Paul, he's a billionaire.
Well, I know, but
Would he take a? Yeah, he'll take a pay cut to be happy to play where he wants. The thing with LeBron is, and again, this is probably going to be his last year. Where does he feel most comfortable, or where does he feel like he has the best chance to win? You know, LeBron won a title with 3 different teams. That's pretty impressive. Cleveland, Miami, and the Lakers. So let's see if he does it. I know that the video thing got him all choked up. You know, he's still a kid from Akron, man. At the end of the day, he really is. And I know he's all up in L.A. and he's got a production company, but we still love him. I respect him very much. I'd like to see him come back to the Cavs, but I think it's a long shot.
Well, okay, so he is going to play at least one more year, though. There's no way LeBron James calls it quits without a retirement tour.
He puts in a lot of work. LeBron works out 3 times a day, man, at his age to keep up with what he's doing. At some point, I'm not saying he's going to get old and fat and have a gut, but at some point, you got to ask yourself, you're going to put that work in all season long. And this year, he's taking a lot of time off. You know, he can't play 82 games anymore.
Yeah, there was that story that came out early in his career. Didn't he spend like 6 figures on his body every single year?
Oh, yeah, but to keep himself. Oh, yeah, he did. But he knew it would pay off for him.
Sure.
And guys, the
Brady.
longevity.
Same thing as Brady.
People don't appreciate the longevity. You know, that's something to be appreciated. Brady, LeBron, to do it for that long, you know, that's harder than. There's a lot more work that goes into that than people know.
Paulie said the other day, you can make an argument second best player of all time. What do you think about that?
LeBron?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't care where you put him. Jordan would be first?
Yes.
Yeah. I could agree with that, but I'll just say, man, LeBron had skills that LeBron was more athletic than Michael was, you know, and he worked at it. It would have been great to see him go at it, you know, at the same time. Yep. That's a shame we won't be able ever to see that. But
how about Justin Rose, 17 under?
Okay, so I told you guys, all right, Indy Jeff gave me all this. Who was I on? Jason Day was throwing clubs over here a half hour ago. How is he 18? 17 under?
17,
How old is he?
Yeah. Oh, he's got to be mid-40s. Got to be 44, 45.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
He almost won the Masters last year.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. A hell of a player, and he's overlooked in all the markets. Like, it seems like every weekend we overlook Justin Rose.
When you're gambling this weekend, non-sports, what's your game?
I'm a craps degenerate.
Oh, you love craps.
In fact, they now have got the crapless craps, which is terrible because it's the 2 and the 12, and I throw 2s and 12s. And we did really well a couple months for the Browns game. When it came out for the Browns game, we had a great time. The craps. I went, tell Derek, I already cashed. I was at the cage. Nobody knows that term, by the way, kids. That's an old school. It's the cashier.
Yeah.
I went to the cage. I put a hundy in, and I took a $400 ticket, video poker.
Oh, very
I love
nice.
this place.
Do you play the bubble poker or the bubble craps?
No, God,
okay.
no. That's like playing the horses. Wait, you want to play the horses on the video screen? Come on, guys. Come on.
I love the YouTube show when you curse.
Oh, well, I'm allowed to. And Paulie, it's so weird because then an hour later I got to go on terrestrial radio and I can't do it.
I know, you're going
and
from
I catch myself.
Absolutely.
And the kids, they love it when I drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb. They think it's hysterical.
It is.
It's childish, but yeah.
Football meets flavor with VSiN and Omaha Steaks, official sponsor of tailgating. Spend $129, 2 pounds of fully cooked wings, plus 50% off site-wide. omahasteaks.com/VSiN delivered right to your door. Tremendous selection. Look at the menu. Use what you want with what you fit. Minimum purchase required. omahasteaks.com/VSiN. Spend $129, 2 pounds of wings, 50% off site-wide. Steaks and more. omahasteaks.com.
He's on X at The Real T Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland. Thanks, my man. That was awesome. Tonight's NBA card up next, and I will present a potential bad beat of the year in any sport.